Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here to review and recap Love After Lockup. This is episode 44, Secret Cellmates. It was an extra long episode, 2 hours, which I don't think was necessary. There were times where I was like checking, like the little timer at the bottom, like how much more do we have to go? Like, can we wrap this shit up? Because we have the season's finale here. And I know next week Life After Lockup starts, and I think we got a few of these couples moving on to that show, and I'm not sure I'm going to review it. If I do, it will only be the couples that I'm familiar with. But even then, I don't know, because I think it's like Deontay and Nicole. Like, I just don't want to watch Nicole like using Deontay and Deontay playing dumb. Like, I've had enough of that. If it's, Britney and Ray, like, I don't want to see, I mean, really, the only conflict we have is like her family's hesitation, which I think is fair. I mean, we'll get into that later, but it's like, I just don't want to see Britney being this nagging kind of, I want to get married, let's get me a ring, I want to have, like, can we let him like get on his feet? And I mean, other than like her family sort of hesitation and his grandma being awesome, like, they're kind of a boring couple. Like, I wish Ray well, because I think he's a good person who really wants to get his life on tracks, and I don't know that cameras in his face helps that. I think Britney just likes being on TV. And I really, anyway, so I don't even know if I'm gonna do that. We'll see. I'll check out an episode, but let's get into this one, okay? Let's start with Courtney and Josh. They had the shortest segment. So Josh says that he and Courtney have just sort of been at odds lately. There's been a lot of conflict between them, obviously a breakdown of communication. He knows she wants a lot more tenderness, so he's gonna try a little tenderness, and he's working to put together a little surprise for Courtney, just to show how much she does love and appreciate her. And this can't come at a better time, because Courtney is driving home and she tells the camera that she has lately been wondering if she made the right decision to, pretty much chuck her career out the window for Josh, because their marriage just isn't turning out the way she thought it would be. He's not turning out the way she thought he would be. So when she gets home, she gets to the front door and there's like a heart and with post-its, like he got post-its and made a heart, and he's created a scavenger hunt, a love hunt for her, with clues like, go here and do this, now go here and do that, go take a bath, then put this dress on. I mean, it makes it look like he bought this dress and these shoes, but he probably just pulled it out of her closet. I mean, whatever, she goes to the kitchen and finds her favorite Sour Patch Kid candies, and meet me outside, and he's out there with the picnic set up for her. And by picnic, he went to the store and bought like a prepackaged little like pepperoni and cheddar cheese spread for her, and pickles. He's also got the like 3 jars of pickles there for her, but she loves it. She's touched. This is just what she needed to feel loved and appreciated. He sits down, he asks her how she's doing, what she think of it. She loves it. Thank you. It means a lot to her. And he just wants to tell her, that he loves her. And, yeah, they've been fighting a lot, but, he's in this with her. He opens up a pickle jar. There's a ring. And at first I was like, oh, is this ring for her? Because it didn't look like an engagement ring. It looked like a big, you guys know those like cigar rings that you get like on a cigar, like a thick silver band. And I thought, oh, okay, like, because she would then ask him, okay, you're not going to throw this one down the toilet. Because I don't know if I mentioned in my review a few episodes ago, she shared with her friend that they got into a really big fight one time, her and Josh. He got so mad he flushed his ring down the toilet. So then I thought, oh, this ring, like he bought himself a new ring. Okay. But then she put the ring on and told him, like, no, don't take my ring from me. So whose ring is this? I don't know. But either way, he re-proposes to her, will you marry me? Even though they're already married by proxy. She says yes. She says that now, she just wants to focus on having a real wedding, building a home, a house with Josh, and she wants to foster kids. I guess, like, foster kids that need homes. She knows that that's like really a ways off. They have a long way to go before they get there. But, they love each other and they're going to fight for this marriage together. at the end of each, well, it's not even like the end of each segment, the end of the show, we get updates on all of them. So I'll just tell you now, their update is that Josh violated parole and was sent back to prison for 6 months. They are still married, but obviously Courtney is living alone at their house, her empire. I don't know if this parole violation had anything to do with him getting physical with Courtney. That's what I heard anyway on YouTube. And I mean, these updates that we got on all of them seemed pretty current. I mean, specifically when we get to Rachel and Doug. So are Courtney and Josh still together? Does anybody know? Leave it in the comments below, because I don't know that I'm not in their marriage. Nobody's really in anybody's marriage to really know what really goes on, but I don't know that he's the right one for her. I know she's somebody who seems insecure, a little broken, just looking desperately for love, that she'll go anywhere. I mean, I don't know. I think she seems sweet, and I want the best for her, and she gave up a lot. She deserves a lot. I don't know if that's Josh. I don't think they're on Life After Lockup. I mean, he's in prison. Anyway, that's them. I wish Courtney all the best. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Let's move on to our next couple. Britney and Ray. Okay, so remember last episode, Britney invited her dad over, under the guise of just come hang out, let's catch up on life. Little does he know he's about to be blindsided by having to meet Ray. So Britney and Ray are up, they're getting ready. She asks him to put on long pants to hide his ankle monitor, kind of just like look good, like be presentable. And he seems a little like insulted. He tells her, I can have a conversation, like I can speak well, like I can be respectful, like calm down. Okay, so dad shows up and he unexpectedly brings along Britney's sister. I didn't catch her name, I'm sorry. So Britney rushes out to meet them before they can get in the house and, let the ambush begin. She tells them, hey guys, thanks for coming. Wasn't expecting you, sis, but good to see you. So I have a surprise. Like, remember that guy I was telling you about that I was dating, Prison Ray? Well, he's out, and actually he's here. He's visiting me today. Just so happens. Do you guys want to come and meet him? Like, I'd love for you to come in and meet him. What are they going to do? Obviously, yes, we'll come in and meet him, sure. They go in. They meet Ray. He is very respectable. The dad kind of just jumps right in with, how old are you? Ray says 29. The dad says, wow, that's really young. You have a long life ahead of you. And kind of asks Ray, what happened? How'd you get into trouble? How did you get here? And Ray just says, he, contrary to, what you may think, in regards to him being in prison, like he is a hard worker. He does come from a good family. He just made some mistakes. He's young, fast money. You get kind of sidetracked, regrets it, doesn't want to go back, wants to do the right thing, get a good job, legal, and, just do right by Britney. He loves her. He wants to take care of her. And this is what I think we forgot this season, because it hasn't been brought up since like episode 2. Because, while the dad and the sister are open enough to just kind of be there, be nice, hear him out, they still have a lot of like reservations, because not specifically, I think, because they think Ray's this horrible guy, but, he does come from prison. He does have an ankle bracelet. It's not like, it's like he comes with this baggage. And what we forgot, or at least I did, is that Britney just got out of, or maybe not just, but right before her relationship with Ray, she was in an abusive relationship where she got hurt, and it was traumatizing for her family, hurtful for them to have to watch. I mean, hurtful for her, so they're concerned that maybe she doesn't have the best judgment, and they just want to look out for her. And, the sister tells him, you seem like a nice enough guy, like, I appreciate you meeting us. It's going to take some time for me to get to know you. That's it. And that's fair. I mean, that would be in any situation. I don't think that's a personal thing. Whether he was in prison or not, you're just sort of foisting this stranger on us and calling him your boyfriend. And then, I forgot to mention, at this point, she tells them, okay, there's one more thing I need to tell you. Okay, so he paroled to my house. He's living here. We're living together. And the sister at this point says what I've been thinking this whole time, but I forget to mention it. Why did Ray have to parole to her house? why didn't he go home to his dad and stepmoms or even his grandmothers? Why? I think probably Britney maybe kind of forced the situation. She wanted him there every day, all day, like under her watchful eye. But, you know, Ray did Ray just not want to have to be with his family? You know, because I would, if it were me, okay, this is me. If I were Ray, or if I were me and had gotten out of prison and I had met some guy that was really great and good looking and had a house and was like willing to front everything for me, if I genuinely really did care for him and thought I could be in love and saw a future, I would say, like, just so you know that I'm being real and I'm not using you, I'm going to go to my mom's house where I can get back on my feet, wait to get this ankle monitor off so I can go get a job, because he can't get a job. He can't do anything. You know, the sister tells him, you know, why didn't you go home? Like, why? She said you were going to go be with your dad. Like, she's here, she's working 2 jobs to pay for everything, front the bill for you. And they never really give an answer. And I would like one, because why didn't he do that? Like, and he doesn't seem like a super prideful person, but just, do you really feel comfortable with this woman that you've never really met in real person, like paying for everything? Does that, it wouldn't make me feel good. Like, and not even as a man, but as a woman, like, especially if I really love you, like, I want you to know I'm not using you. Like, the way, like, Nicole uses Deontay, like, no, like, because, I mean, that's just obvious. It's sort of blatant what's going on, but to show you that, no, I'm not prison talking you. I don't want your money. I don't need to live in your house. Like, I want to get back on my feet. Let me get a job. And when I get a job, then we can circle back to whether or not we want to live together. Like, why couldn't that have happened? Because we're on a show, probably. I'm sure that's what it is. But I mean, show or no show, like, I guess just the lure of television and reality fame, reality star fame, I don't know. Because the sister just thinks they're moving too fast, and maybe they are, but we got a show to do here. So, you know, the dad just tells Ray, look, she's been through a lot. If I'm coming off overprotective, it's because, you know, I don't know if you know, last boyfriend, ain't shit boyfriend, hurt her. I don't want to see that happen again. And Ray's like, no, absolutely not. That's not going to happen. I want to do right by her. So the dad, you know, who was also not a fan of shacking up, playing house, being a wife before you're actually married, just says, you know, okay, well, you're going to have to show me. I'm old school. I'm show me, don't tell me. And I mean, yeah, what else can you do? So, you know, the dad and the sister have officially met Ray. It is a step in the right direction. Britney asks her dad, okay, you know, I really want mom to meet him soon. Can you put in a good word? Can you let her know? And the dad's like, no, you can talk to her. You can work that out. That is all on you, as it should be. A few days later, maybe not a few days later, at some point later down the line, a few weeks, a month, I don't know, Ray finally gets his ankle bracelet off so they can go out on a little dinner date. They do. They go to this little Italian restaurant, and this is where Britney starts putting on the pressure, you know, when are you going to get a job? Let's get you a job so next time you could pay for this meal. And, you know, I want a ring. I want a big ring, a solitaire. And I'm really thinking about having kids. Like, when do you think you want to get married? Like, when do you think you want to have kids? And he's like, the way I understood the conversation is he's fine to have kids whenever. We can start that now. But marriage, 2, maybe 3 years. And it's so always interesting to me, people who are, like, fine to have kids but are afraid to get married. Like, you know that kids, like, bind you to somebody pretty much forever. You just get married. I mean, we can throw some money at that problem and get it taken care of. I just never understand that. And Britney says, you know, her family's not really big on, you know, kids before marriage. They're very traditional. They prefer you be married and then have kids. She's 33, mind you. You know, she didn't want to wait 3 years to have, like, a marriage. So this is what I'm saying. If they're going to be on Life After Lockup, I really don't want to have to sit and watch her be the nag and while he tries to get on his feet, because I do think probably out of everybody, Ray, I think, is the most sincere about getting his life on track. I don't know that cameras in his face is necessarily helpful, nor is a woman totally nagging you always helpful. So I don't really feel like watching that. And what other conflict is there? Is her mom gonna meet him or not? Like, I don't want to say I don't care, but I mean, like, who cares? Like, that's it. Let him get on his feet. Let him figure out his life. But I think Britney likes being on TV. At least that's what I've heard in other reviews. So the little update we get with them is that Ray has got a job. Britney's still waiting for an engagement ring. And she wants her mom to meet him soon. So that's it. I guess we'll see them on Life After Lockup if they are in fact on that show. I don't know. If you guys know who's actually going to be on the show, leave it in the comments below. But I think I saw like a picture and they were like included like on the promo pic. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to our next couple. I am trying not to make this recap long, but I mean, we had to wrap up every single couple here, and let's get Nicole and Deontay out of the way, because when I said that I kept checking my TV, like, it was their segments, because they really stretched their segment out over 2 hours when it could have been a good 2 minutes condensed, which is what I'm gonna do for you right now. So Deontay and Nicole. Okay, Nicole wakes up the next morning, she's with Tia. They're at the hotel. Let Nicole tell it, yeah, things got hot and heavy, but they did not have sex. And if you believe that, I have some beautiful beachfront property in Iowa I want to sell you. Okay, no, I don't think so, Nicole. Anyway, she's got to meet with Deontay today. Remember, she put him off the night before because she couldn't miss her date with Tia. Well, now the reckoning has come. She's got to have this conversation. Tia's just like, go and get it over with. I'll drive you. You'll drive me? Yeah, I'll drive you. Yeah, Tia's going to drive her. Not only is she going to drive her, but she's going to wait in the car while said conversation with Deontay happens at the park. I mean, at first I thought she dropped her off at a park. But no, I think they went back to the restaurant bar that Nicole and Deontay and his friend met her. Remember, I think they're there, but they're sitting outside where like the big campfire, bonfire... the fire pit is, because she has a drink. Deontay keeps her waiting. She's waiting and waiting. She's annoyed. She's irritated. Also, she feels sick. She doesn't feel well. You know, good. Keep her waiting. It's the least she deserves. He finally shows up, and here we go. You know, he tells her, so what's the deal? I caught you the other night with your ex-boyfriend, Zach. Then I see you all over the gram, booed up with Tia, your other ex, who you claim is just a friend. Obviously not, because he's asking her, did you think I was going to see those Instagrams? You're captioning, you know, reunited and it feels so good, long lost love, together at last, you know, all cuddled up, kissy kissy, like, don't tell me she's just a friend. No, she's just a friend, and you know, we weren't together, and I haven't even seen Zach since that night, which was just the other night. She's acting like she hasn't seen him in like 10 years. Fuck, I can't, you know, when I start cussing is because I'm annoyed, and this couple I'm past my limit. I don't care anymore, which is why I'm saying if they're, and I'm pretty sure they're on my Life After Lockup, and I don't even think if I review that show, I don't even think I'll review them, because I just don't want to see Nicole continue to be a user, Deontay pretending to be dumb, because I don't think he's as dumb as he's playing. I think he is reality show gold. Like, he knows what to give to get popular. He does his little like Instagram stories and FaceTime. I don't even know what, okay? He's not dumb. He knows what he's doing. He's got them another season on this show, okay? Good for you guys. Anyway, he asks her, you know, what's up? What do you want to do? Because if you want to be with me, and I can't even believe, but again, this is the show, can't believe he's actually contemplating like working it out and giving her another chance. Like, if all she says is, okay, I love you, I want to be with you, I'm sorry, he's going to forgive her and they're going to be together. But that's not what she's going to say. What she's going to say, and what she does say, is that, you know, she loves him, she wants to be with him, but she has to sort out all these other feelings, you know, before she can really commit. You know, she's got to figure out what's going on with this person and that person and whatever. But she's not even saying it as nicely as I'm saying it. She's annoyed, she's irritated, she's rolling her eyes, she's telling him to get the fuck out of here. Like, is this how we apologize when we've been caught cheating on our boyfriend, the man we love? Really? I think she really probably didn't feel well and didn't feel like filming that day, but you know, had to. And anyway, I'm out of breath. So I don't know if it's because Tia got bored sitting in the car. I don't know, filming is taking too long. She hears they're bickering, but she saunters over like, hey, like, and at first I thought like, oh my gosh, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna like start a fight? But no, Tia was cool. So I give her credit for that. She introduces herself. Hey, I'm Tia. I'm Nicole's friend. And he's like, oh, yeah, I recognize you. I saw you with my girl on the gram last night. And she's like, we're just friends, you know. Yeah, we have a history, but it's nothing like that. Again, I got some beachfront property for you in Iowa. But even Deontay doesn't buy this. I mean, even he can't play that dumb, right? He's like, no, I saw you, whatever, you know. And she says, hey, look, I get it. you recently caught her cheating with Zach, and I don't think that's cool. And I've told her, like, you seem like a good guy. And Deontay asked, like, well, do you even know who I am? Yeah, she talks about you all the time. She talked about you when we were in the joint together, and that's how I know you're a good guy. And what she's doing isn't cool, and I've told her that. Because if it were me and I caught her, like, I wouldn't stand for that shit. Yeah, nobody would. Nobody but Deontay would. So she looks to Nicole, Tia, and says, like, look, you got to figure out what you want. You want to be with Deontay, then you need to be with him, be honest, and, be true. You want to be with Zach, then go be with Zach, but, you got to figure out what you want and stop playing these games, and if you really want to be with Deontay and he's your man, I will fall back. I will go home. I can respect that. Like, I'm not trying to, like, break up a happy home. So I'm going to go inside, get a drink. You let me know what you decide. She goes inside, and I guess, Deontay kind of rides that wave that, Tia has created and agrees, like, yeah, what do you want, Nicole? Like, who do you want to be with? Like, you got to make a decision. Like, enough's enough. What does she want? Well, I love you, Deontay. I want to be with you, but I want to be, like, in an open relationship. Whatever that really means, to me, it just sounds like you want open relationships. To me, my view on them is it's just like you're being single. Like, just be single then. Why tie yourself down to somebody? But then again, if somebody is open to being open with you, that's fine. I'm not judging, but that is not what Deontay wants. He's like, no, I don't want that. I'm 33 years old, been there, done that, too old to play these games. Like, I don't want to share you. Like, but I'm already sharing you, except I haven't even partaken in the sharing, if you know what I mean. So no, I don't want to be in an open relationship. I want to be first. I want to be number one. And she tries to tell him, like, you would be number one. Like, you'd be number one in the money she spends. But like I said, Deontay's wising up some here and is like, no, that's not what I want. That's what you want, then we're done. Good luck to you. I wish you the best. Take care. Nice knowing you. Bye. And he leaves. She's kind of sort of upset, but not really, because Tia's there. Tia comes out and she kind of spins it like, so he's gone. He's left. I sent him away. It's you and me. No, I wouldn't say he dumped Nicole. They broke up. They broke up with each other. She wants an open relationship. He doesn't. They went their separate ways. So I guess she's with Tia now. A few days later, Deontay meets up with Derek. We all love Derek because he's going to have a ceremonial burning of Nicole Jr. The torso, he puts her in a box, sets it on fire, and sends it down the river, and is like, goodbye to all that. Obviously he got more from the torso than he ever did from Nicole, but he's ready to kind of just be single again, put himself out there. No need for that, like, moving on. But, you never know. You never know what the future is. And this is why, I'm pretty, like I said, if I don't mean to sound like a broken record, pretty sure they're on the next season of Life After Lockup. And like I was saying earlier, I don't, like, if I just, because she drops these little hints, as does he, like, oh, as he walks away from her, I know he's leaving, but that's not the last he's gonna see of me. That's not the last we're gonna, like, deal with each other. Like, he comes back. They always come back. It's true. They always do come back. It might take a while, but we're not done yet. And that's why I'm just like, I don't care anymore. They brought a lot, but to me, like, it wasn't as fun watching them. I was annoyed at the stupidity. And like I said, I don't think Deontay's that stupid. He's not. He's a smart guy. And I know these shows are scripted to a degree, but when it's this produced and scripted, it's not fun for me to watch. It's just like, it's not fun. So that's that on them. We just get the update that Nicole and Tia are still dating, and Deontay is, like, hopeful that they can maybe, like, work it out in the future. What's to work out? And not only that, if I'm not mistaken, Tia and Nicole are now married. So it's really done. Unless you want to be, a homewrecker, Deontay. I don't think so. But anyway, we'll leave them there. Let's move on. Stan and Lisa. And I think Lisa and Stan gave Deontay and Nicole a run for the money in terms of who was the more entertaining couple on this show. But anyway, So Stan is going over his finances, his paychecks, his retirement fund, because he is about to go buy Lisa her car. His friend Dash comes over so he can go with him to the dealership to pick up the car. And Dash, is really just the sounding board for Stan to ask the questions, kind of be the voice of the viewers watching. Do you think this is a good idea? You're buying her a car. Whose name are you putting it in? Stan says both of them. Dash asks, how much money are you actually putting down? Oh, it's going to be about a $13,000 car. Dash asks, like, do you really think she really loves you, that her affection is really like honest, or is this like about the money? And Stan fully believes that no, she really loves him. It has nothing to do with the money. She's just had a bad run of luck, and he wants to be there to kind of give her a better life, the finer things in life. And also he tells Dash that he's just so damn tired of being alone. So clearly Lisa is feeling this lonely void in Stan's life. Meanwhile, back at the house, Lisa is casing the joint. She finds Stan's baseball card collection and starts appraising them like on her phone. And then she gets a call from some mysterious woman. We don't really know much about her. They don't tell us much about her. Lisa just says that, this is a person Stan isn't aware of, because there's a lot in her life Stan doesn't know about. And, she's kind of just a friend that she met online, and it's just a quick exchange, like, hey, how are you? What are you doing? I'm good. Okay, bye. Anyway, really, the point of their segment is Lisa's older brother Rick and her godmother Deb are coming over to meet Stan. So Lisa is going to, cook dinner. And by cook dinner, I mean she's going to heat up some chicken tenders and tater tots in the oven, which is fine. I mean, we all know she's not a cook. I'm not really a great cook either, but I can zhuzh something up if I have to impress. You can go to the grocery store and buy a pre-made, not pre-made, but an already roasted chicken. You can put some potatoes in the oven and bake them. That's not hard to do, but okay, fine. We'll settle for the chicken tendies and tater tots. But what killed me is that, because Rick and Deb come over, they greet, hi, how are you? They get their paper plates of chicken tendies and tater tots and like sit on the couches with the plates on their lap, not a fork, not a knife, not a napkin, not a glass of water, not one near dipping sauce, no ketchup, no ranch. They're just gonna sit there and eat with their hands. Like, I thought Stan was a millionaire. I thought he was living like in $1 million home. Does he not have a table, a dining room, a kitchen nook? Some like, we're just gonna sit here and eat. Like, what kind of low rent, uncouth bullshit is this? Like, really? I mean, this is what we're doing. This is what I'm not trying to come off like a snob, but I mean, I just thought, Stan, you were married. Like, is this how your wife? If you're trying to impress Lisa's people, and I don't think the bar is very high, clearly not. I mean, we couldn't, anyway, I'm going on too much about this. Anyway, they eat their little chicken tenders, on their lap. I would hate that. Anyway, Rick wants to have a talk with Stan, because Stan had put Lisa through it for those past couple days. So Rick tells Stan, can I have a conversation with you alone? Stan says, sure. Stan takes him to the baseball card room, shows him, all of the memorabilia, because he hears that Rick is really a Cardinals fan. Rick is impressed. They sit on the couch and Rick just gets to the business. Lisa, she's my little sister. She's like my twin. Yeah, they look a lot alike. And Lisa was not lying when she told Stan that she looked like her brother when she got out of prison. She did. And, Rick just tells him, we're extremely close. She called me. She told me all about the bullshit you've been putting her through when you threw her trash bags out in the street and called her a piss poor mother. She was devastated. She called me crying because, she really likes you. And that really hurt her feelings. And, if you're giving her problems, then I have a problem. And, she's already been through a lot in her life and she doesn't need that. And, she's had these ex-husbands that were, violent. And, Stan's just like, oh, he's just pained to hear that. And reassures Rick like, oh, no, I would never hurt Lisa. I would never lay a hand on her, unless it was in a tender way. Oh, okay. And, I just want to take care of her. I want to be there for her, just give her a good life. Like, yeah, we kind of got into it, but, that's all in the past. I want it like he's been telling everybody. He just, he wants to give her a good life, and that seems to be well enough for Rick. Meanwhile, Lisa's outside with Deb. She asks Deb, what do you think of Stan? Well, Deb thinks Stan is nice enough, but, she can't get over all that shit he just put her through, trash bags in the street and all that stuff. So, it seems like she's really been telling her family and friends, like, all the bullshit, which you have to be careful, because when you start doing that and they only hear the bad stuff, it's like, yeah, why are they going to like him? They don't even really want to give him a chance. But Lisa does kind of, sort of stand up for Stan, because she tells Deb, well, yeah, that is all true. He did all that, but he just paid off $13,000 in my tickets, and he's buying me a car, and he's doing this, and he's doing that. So it's kind of a wash. It's kind of, we're kind of even now. And Deb's like, okay, I mean, if you say so. And then Lisa goes into, telling Deb that she never saw herself as some great beauty that could trade in on her looks. But, she found this seeking arrangement site. She's found Stan, and now she's just working it to her advantage. Like, it's like a job for her. And, and Deb's like, well, you're doing a good job, looks like, And so when the producers ask Lisa, would you be with Stan if he didn't have money? She's, at a loss. She just doesn't know how to answer that. Well, allow me to answer that for you, Lisa. Hell no, you wouldn't be with Stan if he didn't have the money. You'd be out of there in a second, which is why I think they were having such a rough go at it in the beginning when she got out, because she was wanting things, money, cars, apartments. He was wanting, playtime in the dungeon, and neither one of them were budging, until she finally kind of had to, what do they say, like, tip your hand a little bit, give a little bit. And then she finally is getting what she wants. Like, it took her a while to catch on to the game, but she's finally caught on, I think. And so then when the producers ask, do you see a future with Stan? Again, she's at a loss. And all she can say is, I hope there's a future, but, no one can predict, which is true. But I mean, as long as the money is rolling in, she'll be around. But let's not forget, she has this side chick, mysterious voice on the phone that Stan doesn't know about. And that's kind of where their segment ends. Rick and Deb leave. They wish them well. They send them off. And the little update is that Stan is getting ready to propose while Lisa is still, engaging in this secret relationship. I think they're also going to be on the next season of Life After Lockup. And I would watch for them, because they are entertaining, and I do feel like there is more truth to their situation than probably all the other ones who kind of put on like a Deontay and Nicole. So that's where we're going to leave them. Let's move on to the next couple. I'm trying to not make this like 5 hours long. Anisa and Jeff. I lost a lot of respect for Anisa in this episode, I have to be honest. So Anisa knows the secret possible 18-year-old love child that Jeff may have somewhere out there, okay? But she's not supposed to know, but she does. So she doesn't know how to act. So she's being all weird around him, and he can tell, but she denies that anything is wrong. Penny comes over, y'all remember Cousin Penny, comes over to pick up Anisa so they can go look at flowers for the wedding. This is just an opportunity for Anisa to, vent to Penny, tell her about the secret love child, and tell Penny that she can't trust him. What else is he hiding? And he's also running through all my money. Penny tells her, like, cut those cards. Well, it's my ATM card. Change the number. There are ways around this. She dickmatized, okay, as they say. So anyway, back home, Jeff tries to log on to the computer so he can run through some more of Anissa's money, and she has changed all the passwords. And damn it, he knew something was wrong. So he starts rummaging through the house, right, trying to find what he doesn't know, but he's determined to find something, anything. And I know he'll go look in the dresser because she's always standing by the dresser. That is the logic. So as he's digging through the drawer, lo and behold, he finds like her burner phone, her player phone, as I like to call it, okay? So he's scrolling through it, and she only has like 5 contacts in the phone, all men. Kyle is one of them, John, Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then he happens upon like her pictures, her sexy pictures. I mean, they're not nudes, but they're kind of like these revealing, photos of Anisa in her granny panties. I'd be mortified if I were Anisa. I mean, if I were me and I had I don't take pictures like this. I mean, it's been a while since I had a boyfriend. I mean, I've sent I've never sent nudes, like I said, because that could just end up like on the internet, and hell no. And, you know, we can break up and God knows what he would do with it. I'm just too paranoid about that. But yeah, I might have been known to send like a little picture of me with a little cleavage maybe. But I mean, these were kind of like, I'd be like, because she's like, anyway, I'll leave her pictures alone. He is shocked because he's never seen these pictures. She's never sent him any sexy pictures like this. And Kyle's a contact and he knew it. They must have had a history together. They've probably hooked up, not recently, not since he's been in the picture. But, you know, if that's the case, he's done with her. He will not stand for it. Never mind the fact that he might have a love child and 4 other women he's been talking to in prison. But damn it, not Anisa and Kyle. That is too much for him. So when Anisa gets home, he asks her, like, what are you doing? What's up? What's going on? She says, oh, Kyle and his girlfriend are going to come over and visit. He's like, okay, what's wrong? You're acting different. I know you. You're not laughing. You're not smiling. You're acting weird. And so she finally tells him, okay, well, I heard this rumor, you know, that you might have a son out there, you know, and he's like, oh, who told you that? Well, Kyle told me. Obviously, you told him, but why didn't you tell me? I'm your wife. And just as perfect timing could have it, here rolls up Kyle and his girlfriend, you know. Jeff looks outside the window like, oh, here he is. Like, I'm going to go, like, fuck him up, right? So he goes outside, Anisa, and this is where I lose all respect for Anisa. Because she's sitting there, you know, she looks out the window. She's like, I hope they don't fight, because if they start fighting, the neighbors are going to call the cops are going to come, and then, like, Jeff's going to get sent back to the halfway house, but I'm not going out there. Like, I'm not getting involved. I'm just going to let Kyle and Jeff work it out. What the fuck does Kyle have to work out with Jeff? Not a damn thing. This is, okay, Kyle has been a good friend to you for what? At least 11 years, because he's been there every time Jeff has ghosted you. He told you about the love child being a good friend because, hey, why is this guy keeping secrets from you? And he still hasn't told you all these days later. Yet you're going to let Jeff go out there and possibly kick Kyle's ass because Kyle was being a good friend to you. Like, Anisa, where is your loyalty? Like, really? Like I said, dickmatized by Jeff. Like, I can't stand when, like, friends, I mean, is Kyle even your friend? Like, that you would let your friend be treated this way by Jeff? Who is Jeff? But the guy who's been lying to you, running through your money. Like, I couldn't believe she was just going to sit back and just, like, let it play out and let them work it out when there's really nothing for Kyle to work out. Like, Jeff is your man. He's the one lying to you. Like, if I were Kyle, I would have told Anisa, you know what? Good luck to you. When he runs through your money and pieces out on you again, call me up. Maybe I'll come back to help pick up the pieces for the 3rd time. Maybe not. We'll see how I feel. Anyway, Jeff goes outside and he's kind of taunting Kyle in the car like, hey, come fight me. What are you scared of? I'm going to F you up. Right? Finally, Kyle gets out of the car like, come on, let's bring it on then. Like, I'm waiting for you. What's taking you so long? So this is where, you know, Jeff, like, Humpty Dumpty runs towards Kyle. I think he might get in a few good swings because Kyle loses his footing and falls. By now, you got the producers and security, like, breaking it up, pulling Jeff away. Like, Jeff, you got to stop. Calm down. Jeff takes off his shirt so we can see his big beer gut belly. You know, he's breaking like 2x4s. Where did he find a 2x4? The producers go to talk to Kyle and Kyle is like smoking a cigarette saying like, I will end that guy. Like, I do not care. Like, if he comes anywhere near me, it's done, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know if I could say the words he was saying. The girlfriend drives him off and they're gone, okay? Jeff goes back inside. Anissa's just calmly sitting there just like letting these men fight over you. I don't know about like Kyle's fighting over you, but I mean, Kyle's not a punk. You know, Kyle's been to prison. He knows what the deal is. And so, you know, Jeff comes inside all sweaty and out of breath. Just like, okay, well, this is what it is. Like, okay, yeah, like I might have a son. A couple weeks ago at the halfway house, an ex reached out to me and said, you know, pretty sure that this kid is yours. And I told her, like, if it is my kid, then, you know, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be a father. I'm going to be there and love him like a father. Pretty sure this kid doesn't want you as a father, especially after seeing this bullshit on TV. Like, no, I'm good. Dad, you can stay where you are. You don't need to step in and be a father at this point in life, right? But he goes, he tries to do the Jedi mind trick and tell her, I mean, the reason I didn't tell you is because, like, I found this phone with your pictures. Like, no, Jeff, you just found that phone an hour ago, right? But she doesn't know that. So he's trying to play it off like, you have secrets too, and you didn't tell me, and you have these pictures, and you and Kyle. And she's like, me and Kyle, nothing. Like, me and Kyle are just friends. We haven't even so much just even tried to kiss. I don't know why it's such a problem for you because if anything, Kyle has been a good friend to me. Every time you didn't show up and left me waiting at my house thinking we were going to get married, and then I wouldn't hear from you and you would disappear. And yeah, I have this phone, and yeah, I talked to other guys, and yeah, I sent them pictures because you and I were broken up. I couldn't find you. You disappeared. Like, what did you expect me to do? And he's just sitting there just like, duh, like, oh, really? I didn't know you felt that way. Well, how do you feel now? Like, now because he realizes that he's fucked up and, like, lying, withholding this, like, love child information, you know. So he's like, well, how do you still feel? Like, do you still want to get married? Do you still want a wedding? Like, even though we know that's not what he wants, but, you know, she is his meal ticket. And she tells him, I don't know how I feel. I'm really confused. I don't know that I can trust you. This whole, like, might have a son really isn't a big deal because he's 18. It's in your past. So what are you really hiding? Like, if you'll hide that, which is nothing, who knows what else? Like, I just don't know how I feel. I don't know what I feel. And he's just like, oh, okay, you know. That's it for their segment. We find out that he got sent back to the halfway house for violating parole, and she's still planning the wedding. So are they still together? Again, if you guys know, let me know and leave it in the comments. She could have him. Like, it just was really disappointing to me the way she kind of just threw Kyle under the bus. Like, yeah, like, you've known Kyle and he's been a friend for how long? You've known Jeff for like a few weeks now in your house. Like, there's no loyalty, and I can't respect that. So that's it. Let's move on to our last couple. This one's a doozy. Rachel and Doug. Okay, I mean, we all saw this coming. I mean, we all know they're not together anymore, and we were just waiting for this moment to happen, and it has. And it happened when cameras and producers weren't there. So this is how it went down. She found out he was cheating. She pulled out her phone, you know, to kind of record the moment as it happened. She just caught him cheating. You know, she takes off her ring, and to be big and bad, she's just like, you know, I'm done with it. She throws the ring like an idiot out the front door, and it's just like, stupid bitch. Yeah, you're being a stupid bitch right now to do that. Like, why would you do that? You can take that ring and go hawk it for some money. Try to recoup a little bit of that $30,000 you spent on Doug. She eventually comes to her senses because the next day the producers are out. They come out to meet her, and she's in the front yard, like, looking for the ring in the lawn. And, you know, this is where we get the breakdown of how this all unfolded. So Doug went to Rachel and said, I'm going to go visit my friend Gary. And she said, okay, fine. So a few hours later, Gary's wife reaches out to Rachel via Facebook and messages her like, hey girl, I know you don't know me, but I am Gary's wife, and I just need to let you know, Doug showed up to my house with some skank. I caught them like in my bedroom getting busy. He's a dirtbag. He's not welcome here anymore. I'm letting you know because I would hope that if the shoe were on the other foot, somebody would let me know. You need to cut him off. He's a user. You deserve more. Do with this information what you will, okay? So I guess, you know, even though she hasn't met this woman, Gary's wife, she believes it. And that's when she pulled out the phone and threw out her ring, whatever. When Doug gets home, she confronts him. Of course, he denies it and tells her, no, that wasn't my skank. That was Gary's skank side piece. And his wife is just upset and is trying to ruin our relationship. Why would Gary's wife try to ruin your relationship? Like, what kind of sense does that make? Like, you're gonna have to be quicker than that, Doug. Make more sense than that, because it doesn't make sense. They argue, of course, and fight. He gets angry. She says something that pushes his buttons a little too far, and he punches out the cabinet door. And you know that he tells her, that just shows you how much I love you because I punched the door, not your face. That's where Doug lives. That's his mentality. That is too much for her. It is too much for me. He can't leave the house that night because he's tethered to that house with his ankle bracelet. So she leaves to her mom's house to get away. And I guess when she comes back the next day, he's packed up, him and Dougie, and he's left. And she is devastated, you know. Not so much. I mean, she's devastated because, like, in an instant, she's lost everything. Her marriage, her man, her family, everything's gone. Everything's empty. You know, she was getting into the groove of, like, making breakfast and being a mom, and that's all gone. She feels stupid. She feels bamboozled. She feels misled, manipulated. Like, her whole life is a joke. Her whole marriage was a joke. Well, you know, I don't want to, like, throw salt in the wound, but, I mean, when you put your life on a show like this, kind of is a joke. But I do feel bad for her. I do. Because also I think she was sort of swayed in that this might be real because we get this segment where Doug is showing us all his tattoos. I mean, I would say like 90% of his body is covered in tattoos, and he has like 3 different Rachel tattoos. And I think when he did that to her, that kind of like meant like, oh, he's really serious, because who else would make such a commitment as to tattooing somebody's name on them, you know, if they weren't serious? But I'm sure if you looked hard enough through all the scribble scrabble of tattoos, you would find another woman's name. I wouldn't be surprised, because he says tattoos for him are just like an addiction, like a drug. Like he just did it all the time in prison because it just felt good. So, I mean, but did she know that? I don't know. And what she also tells us is that, did she say that she got in contact with the other woman? And this skank, you know, apparently has been in a relationship with Doug that, you know, preceded his relationship with Rachel. So was Rachel the other woman, you know? I mean, they've been together, apparently, this woman and Doug, for years. And when we meet up, I mean, Doug kind of gets this little segment, Who Really Cares? I don't even really want to talk about it, but he just kind of tells the camera, you know, that when he got out of prison, he did have every intention of settling down and being a good husband to Rachel. But once he was finally out, he just realized he wasn't ready for that. Like, he wants his freedom. Like most men who get out of prison just want to be free. They want to sow the royal oats. They don't really want to settle down. But, but on the other hand, when you're getting out of prison with not a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, and you have this really, nice looking woman who has a beautiful house and money and that could be quite enticing until, you're kind of called away. And people warned her, even Rachel says, his sister warned me and I should have listened. I should have ran the other way. But she was blinded by love. She's another one. She was digmatized. Okay. She saw this guy on the prison website, thought he was cute, wanted the bad boy, envisioned a life that they could have together. If only he could just settle down and do the right thing. But I mean, was it naive of her to think that he was going to settle down and be father of the year and husband of the decade? Yeah, again, I don't want to throw salt in the wound, but it was a little ambitious to think that things were going to work out perfectly. I mean, nothing's perfect. And I guess anything is possible, but with his history, and I mean, even his friends said that he's never been faithful. He's never had one girlfriend. Dougie was telling her he's got 10 girlfriends and he's a filthy womanizer. I mean, what more did she need? I mean, but like I said, love is blind. Her mom comes over to check on her. You could tell the mom's emotional and feels bad. Rachel's manically cleaning the house just to keep busy and keep her mind off it. The mom was like, can you stop for a second? Stop. Have a cigarette with me, just relax for a second. She reiterates, she feels dumb, she feels stupid, she feels used. Oh, I mean, yeah, this is going to take some time to get over. She said, the mom is just I feel bad for Dougie. We all feel bad for Dougie. The world feels bad for Dougie, and Rachel says that apparently he took Dougie and they're living in a trailer behind the sister's house. And she says that she would be open to taking Dougie back and having him live with her, and that is a long road if that's the road she goes down, but very admirable. And this is why I really don't want to go hard on Rachel, because she does seem like a very decent person with a good heart. And if she does get Dougie, and we learn later that he does move back in with her, like I've been saying from the beginning, I want Rachel to get him into some therapy. I don't think that he should necessarily be cut off from his family, because like he said in the last episode, he loves his family, but maybe we can get some visitation rights. We don't need him around Aunt Rachel, who's going to always be a bitch to him and put him on blast and read aloud his private letters. That's not what Dougie needs. What he needs is somebody like Rachel, who is, a stable force, who is understanding to who he is. He's somebody who is sensitive. He seems smart, aware, a kid that I think has had to grow up really fast, probably seen things a kid his age hasn't seen. I'm sorry that I'm going off on a tangent, but I feel like this is the real moment. I mean, for all of the bullshit in the scripts and the Nicole and Deontay, the Dougie situation is that's a real life thing. And I think that I hope, for all of that Rachel has been through, because this is a lot. She spent a lot of money, invested a lot of her time, put her heart on the line for it to end this way. If anything good can come out of it, that might be that Dougie has a real chance at like a good life if Rachel can be there for him as sort of that, you know, mother-like figure, you know, and not to get all like sentimental, but you know, God works in mysterious ways. And if all this had to happen so Dougie can be in a better place, like, you know, all kids deserve a fair shot, you know, not just Dougie, like his cousins who are like back in Kalamazoo. But I mean, in this instance, like who knows, and I know I'm really off on a tangent, who knows what life has in store for Dougie. He could be something great and wonderful, and, you know, Rachel can just be there as a support for him for what he needs. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because like I said, that's a real storyline. Like Dougie, that's real. Get him out of that bullshit, you know, dad in prison and him being the go-between between him and his girlfriends and whatever he's seen. Like, get him out of that already. Like, yeah, visitations. We can visit your dad maybe once in a while. Let's get Dougie like figured out and taken care of. So that's kind of where we leave the episode. We get the update that Dougie is back with Rachel, and I hope that goes well. You know, that's a lot for Rachel, and I commend her for taking that on. And, you know, if you hadn't heard just a couple weeks ago, and we got the real recent update, Doug was arrested and sent back to prison for parole violation. But not just that, he was caught selling drugs and running a chop shop. He like got on a motorcycle, I think, was like evading police, cutting up the fucking fool, ran into like a police car. They show his mugshot on TV. He looks high as a fucking kite. I don't feel bad for him. I don't. But I mean, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to break that cycle. I mean, I don't mean to get all on this serious tip here, but I mean, this is a guy who's been like incarcerated since he was 17 years old. I think this was a longer stretch than 40 days, but not much longer. And yeah, you have to kind of break. I mean, I'm no prison expert, but I just feel like, you know, when you've been in the system for so long, there's a lot of things you have to break. And I think counseling and therapy is something that would help him, but you know, he's not interested in that. He thinks he's bigger and better and doesn't need it. So, you know, good luck to him and his life. I really hope the best for Rachel and Dougie, and I hope we get an update on them somehow, some way down the line. But that's it for the episode. You know, at the end, Rachel says that, you know, she's done with inmates. She would never take Doug back under any circumstances. And she's thinking about maybe giving those accountants a try. And that's what I thought. Like when this whole like cheating thing, I was just like, girl, you got to get you an accountant, maybe a tax lawyer. You never know. I mean, they could, you know, a gentleman in the streets and a freak in the sheets. Like, don't knock it until you try it. You never know. So anyway, that was the episode. This review is probably super long. I might have to cut it up into 2 pieces because I don't want like an hour-long recap. But let me know what you guys think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will check out Life After Lockup. See what couples are on. See what I think. And we'll go from there. So just tune in, keep your eye out, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.